Feel good, don't it? Alright. We just landed on the moon in the Lambo. Taking pictures with the zoom and the angle. We'll be coming back to you with the samples. Our predictions coming soon with a halo. We just landed on the moon in the Lambo. Taking pictures with the zoom and the angle. We'll be coming back to you with the samples. Our predictions coming soon with a halo. We just landed on the moon in the Lambo. Taking pictures with the zoom and the angle. We'll be coming back to you with the samples. Our predictions coming soon with a halo. The moon and the angels. Made man began, hustle to greatness. Elon's on the phone, he got our wallets, a spaceship, but diaries for free. That's if you want to attain it. Spreadsheet can't leak if it ain't coming with payments now. I give the blueprint to Bill, making the moon a plan. I went from being a lunatic to a lunar land. You day to day it, you make it no matter who the man. My chart is shooting in, tell me if it's cool to land. From my ICOs, my coins points mushroom like Mighty O's. I might take it to Mars, my portfolio could bring my whole entourage like I'm Arigo. Because moon in the Lambo, ain't a hater who presume where we can't go. Lambos pulling up in twos like it's tango. Up in the clouds with my crew like I'm Lando. Yeah, just landed on the moon in the Lambo. Taking pictures with the zoom and the angle. We'll be coming back to you with the samples. Our predictions coming soon with a halo. The moon and the angels. Made man who die, read the game plan. They can't stand. We fly where they can't land. Lifestyle, so good I gotta write down. Trying down, don't make me pull my drive out. Made man who die, read the game plan. They can't stand. We fly where they can't land. Lifestyle, I never gotta lie about. Trying out, don't make me pull my drive out. Yeah, I wasn't always a celebrity. Had to do right till I left you a legacy. Blood, sweat, and tears on this trail like a Cherokee. Business had a mission like Apollo and so heavenly. Murcielago or Galata with the leather seats. How should I roam from my home through the 7 seas? And one day this wasn't built, I'm not Romulus. Grind to you sitting on a bill with no monikers. This for my mama, I turned up with no thermometers. I strain day after night like the Andromeda. I know what time it is, looking in the sky to lift my spirits. And my spirits, I don't whine, I just grind and get. Yeah, trusting the process is essential. Studying the chart should be the object of your mental. Make the most to get the laser focus like you Diplo. Keep a couple secrets in the tails of the crypto. Keep a couple secrets in the tails of the crypto. Make the most to get the laser focus like you Diplo. Yeah, trusting the process is essential. Studying my chart should be the object of your mental. Moon in the Lambo. Taking pictures with the zoom and the angle. We'll be coming back to you with the samples. Our predictions coming soon with a halo. We just landed on the moon in the Lambo. Taking pictures with the zoom and the angle. We'll be coming back to you with the samples. Our predictions coming soon with a halo. The moon and the angels. Made man who die, read the game plan. They can't stand. We fly where they can't land. Lifestyle, so good I gotta write down. Trying down, don't make me pull my drive out. Made man who die, read the game plan. They can't stand. We fly where they can't land. Lifestyle, I never gotta lie about. Trying out, don't make me pull my drive out. Yeah. Alright. Don't make me pull my drive out. Crypto life. Yeah. Made man, baby. How to rap true. Yeah. Diary made man. Stay tuned. Go.
Since the creation of the internet, every industry has been turned upside down. Amazon changed retail. Uber changed transportation. YouTube changed video forever. With the invention of crypto, money is next. At the speed technology is growing, the future of money and securities are digital. 9 out of 10 millennials do not trust banks. The value of money relies on trust. Government debt is higher than it's ever been before. Central banks continue to print money. Fortunately, the world has a new solution. Experts predict in 7 years, 10% of the world's economy will be in crypto-based assets. Today, 1 billion people have access to the financial industry. Crypto is about empowering the other 6 billion people by banking the unbanked. Do not underestimate this. Do you wish you invested in Google, Amazon, or Netflix before anyone ever knew about them? $1,000 invested in Netflix turned to over $500,000. At Token Metrics, we help you find the next Netflix. Token Metrics users think differently about investing. They are early adopters looking for financial freedom. They are people who see a better world. A world without international borders. We believe in a world where everyone has access to the next financial revolution. At Token Metrics, we are creating a bridge that gets you to that revolution. We will help you make sound investments in this new world. The world's best investors do not rely on their intuition. They embrace technology and AI to invest. Token Metrics uses AI to find invisible patterns in data to help you invest and trade in crypto. In the past, we have used our data-driven system to achieve financial freedom. Now, we are giving you the keys. We created Token Metrics to be the only platform you'll ever need to make money in crypto. We give you AI and access to crypto experts at the best price. The moon is not the limit. To the moon and beyond.
Disclaimer. Token Metrics Media LLC does not provide individually tailored investment advice and does not take a subscriber's or anyone's personal circumstance into consideration when discussing investments, nor is it registered as an investment advisor or broker-dealer in any jurisdiction. Information contained herein is not an offer or solicitation to buy, hold, or sell any security. The Token Metrics team has advised and invested in many blockchain companies. A complete list of their advisory roles and current holdings can be viewed here at tokenmetrics.com/disclosures.
Hello, crypto family. How are you? Welcome to the show. So happy Sunday. It's a pleasure to be here. We have actually, this is back-to-back live streams. For those who missed last night's live stream, or actually last morning's live stream, we had 2 live streams, one with Spatium, then one with me. And now we have the usual live stream every Sunday, 6 p.m. Eastern Time. And we have Bill here with us as usual. Hey, Bill, how are you?
Ian, hi. Thanks for having me on the show.
Yeah, happy Sunday. Happy Sunday. How are things over there and the market?
Well, the market is unbelievable, but we're here to help with that.
Yeah, I mean, that's always an understatement in crypto. Like crypto never ceases to amaze me. Every single week,
there is literally never a dull moment.
Yeah. So we'll be taking your questions via the live stream. So we do have a Mentimeter code. Let me pull that up here. So any questions you have, please go to menti.com. That's MENTI.com. Use the code 1377041. That's 1377041. And today's live stream, we'll be covering Uniswap, Ethereum price predictions, and we'll answer the question of the month. Will Bitcoin and crypto bounce back? Because we know everyone is asking us, it's been a pretty rough month for crypto. What do we do? Do you go on the sidelines in stable coins? Do you go straight to cash? Do you hold? Do you buy more? This is a question everyone is asking, and we'll go through, we'll basically give you our opinion in terms of what we think is the best move to do. And we'll also cover how the upcoming election in the US will affect equities, crypto, and also most important of all, your portfolio, right? So with that being said, let's hop into it. So once again, go to minty.com to ask your questions. And if you haven't yet joined, please go to tokenmetrics.com and subscribe. We just put out a newsletter today, probably about 2 hours ago, pretty much kind of having Bill share his TA in terms of what we think is happening with the market. So if you definitely like our content on YouTube, you would definitely like our platform, tokenmetrics.com. So go there, subscribe. We do have discounted trials. So you have the ability to try Tokenmetrics out for 1 week for $2 or $5. So basically there's nothing to lose, very low cost way to have us in real time. And we also do have our private group for those who want to have kind of more on-demand access to our team. Bill, could you kind of maybe share the kind of content you've been talking about in the private group to our on-demand customers? I mean, to our pro customers?
Certainly. So our premium group is, they do a lot of portfolio protection. So they're always looking at ways where they can get into altcoins to add to a portfolio, right? And then possibly protect their portfolio by shorting things like Bitcoin. Okay. So they'll be asking me questions like, do you think we've hit bottom in X coin? Or where do you think the relevant levels are in Bitcoin and Ethereum? So they get sort of on demand, real time, so on the show we have one thing, but on Telegram group, I'm right there for these people. And actually the best thing I've heard so far was one guy said, he said like, right or wrong on the TA, this group transitioned me from somebody who was just like a curious new person to somebody who was fully engaged. Right. Because, I know I've got the interesting backdrop, but I'm definitely not psychic. This market changed between 5 a.m. and 5 p.m. So it's nice to know that the people in the room are getting value from what I would call guidance rather than me claiming, oh, I'm right every single time. So it's a mature group and it's getting smarter and smarter, not because of me, but because they're putting in the effort to learn. Right. Mm-hmm. And I'm providing like maybe a little secret sauce to get them over the top to where they want to go.
Yeah, well said, well said. And to kind of add on to that, so one of the most interesting comments I saw from our customers in the professional group was that while the market did have a crash, basically, this month, some of them were able to basically still make money because of just even the value other people in the group would bring to the group, right? Because obviously it's not just us, but having other people who are heavily in crypto, whether they're whales or just people who are just brand new, who just came from equities and now in crypto and are basically using our platform. But the main thing is other people in the group are now bringing value, right? So other people come and share their winning trades, their winning investments, whether it's through yield farming, whether it's through DeFi, right? So somebody actually ended up sharing ETH in the group, which was a coin that's been doing pretty well, right? And I think somebody said that they've pretty much made enough gains on that to cover the entire cost of their membership for the entire year, right? So, and that's not even from us, right? That's just from other members in the group. So I think it's pretty cool to kind of have other people begin to bring value to the group, because then it pretty much makes it a win-win for everybody involved. So with that being said, if you like our content, if you like watching on YouTube, we highly encourage you join Tokenmetrics. Once again, we have a discounted trial, and we also do have the professional group if you want to have us on a more constant basis, being able to talk to Bill or myself. With that being said, let's hop into the show. Okay, all right. Here, let me just move this. Okay, sorry, not sure why this is here. Actually, you know what? Let's just hop straight into this because it has been a while since we covered this. So let's kick things off with the Tokenmetrics Moon Awards. So we're back to doing this, and we have a very interesting topic to cover today. We have, based on voting from our community, from you, the Tokenmetrics crypto family, we asked you one question. What is the best decentralized exchange of 2020? Now, mind you, this award or this voting happened earlier in the year, around January, I believe, of this year. So there have been some major changes in the DeFi, because in crypto, I mean, crypto moves probably in light years, right? I mean, because crypto moves so fast that it's almost impossible to keep up, right? Because what was the best exchange according to our community back then has now kind of shifted, right? So please bear with us. This might be slightly outdated, but I think still relevant, because this is a question we're getting, especially nowadays with lots of DeFi, right? So going to our blog post here. So according to the community, drum rolls please, the best DEX back in January 2020 was Binance DEX. So the community chose Binance DEX. Then they chose IDEX. Then they chose Kyber Network. And our community was still kind of getting into Uniswap, and they did make honorable mention. But I think it's now safe to say pretty much that the entire market now believes that Uniswap has really become the premier DEX, right? So Bill, what's your comment on this list? And also what's your comment in terms of DEXs in general?
Okay. Well, clearly Uniswap has completely changed the entire crypto market. I mean, in my opinion, as a technical analyst, when somebody with the sushi incident that tried to mess with Uniswap, that was the top. So mess with Uniswap, get bear market. I think the thing that's interesting about Uniswap now is that Binance and this guy CZ are coming. I don't know. They're going to bring the Army, the Navy, the Air Force, and the Marines to try to catch up, whether it disrupts themselves or not, right? Because of the popularity of Uniswap. And when Uniswap did the effect of a stimulus package, I mean, because that's what everyone I talked to, they didn't say it was an airdrop. They said it was a stimulus when Uniswap came in. That's how much wow factor they achieved. So their they achieved customer satisfaction in the middle of a crypto crash, which is hats off to them.
Yeah, I mean, well said, well said. And I think I found it very interesting that that the entire crypto community called it a stimulus package, because that's actually great marketing. I mean, because an airdrop is one thing, it's kind of been outplayed, but a stimulus package, because we have even people on our team, we have some interns that we got into crypto and they're now working with our team. And when they were trading on the DEX, right, and then they got the stimulus package, they're like, is this really $3,000? And we're like, yeah, it's $3,000. They're like, unbelievable. I mean, like, when interns who just got into crypto this year are looking at this, they're like, this is incredible, right? Because to them, they're still in grad school or college. I mean, they're like, they just got $3,000. What can they do with $3,000? I mean, a lot. I mean, that's like paying off part of the college tuition, right? So I think it was definitely good timing. And I've covered this on the last show, on the last live stream. I think it was well played, well executed, because they had to do this. I mean, because the entire market now saw that liquidity was not a moat anymore. So anybody could just fork a project, add a token, and have a fairer launch, and that would pretty much move all crypto investors and traders and all the speculation to their protocol. And I think we've discovered that crypto investors are honest. We know what they're about. They're about gains, they're about making money, and they're not loyal. They'll go wherever they get the best gains. And I think it was well timed by them to launch this. I'm not sure whether this was something they were planning to do and they kind of had to rush it based on what was happening. But either way, I think it was well timed. And disclosure, I'm very bullish on the project, Uni. I do also have tokens, and I'm not sold mine. I have mine for the long term. And we'll have Bill basically go through and kind of give us his perspective from a TA perspective. Because I know there has been a healthy correction since we last talked about it. And with that being said, tell us what you think. Do you think the community was right? I mean, at this point is probably not, right? But I mean, at that time, do you think they were right? What do you think about this list in terms of the best DEXs? Which one do you use the most? Which one are you most bullish on? Is it Uniswap? Is it Kyber? Is it IDEX? Is it Binance DEX, right? I'm not really a big fan of Binance DEX, to be honest, because I'm pretty surprised the community at that time chose Binance. I think people just kind of thought maybe because Binance was the biggest name in crypto. But even me at the time, I would have not picked Binance, because Binance DEX and Binance chain in general are very centralized. They kind of don't talk about it much, but I mean, rumors are, right, allegedly, that all the validators on the Binance chain are the Binance team. Okay? Because they'll always dodge this question. They'll never answer this question directly or even indirectly. If you ask them who's the actual validator on the chains, they would just say it's people in the Binance network or people that they have chosen, right? But they never tell you. And I think that just, to me, is pretty dodgy. But anyway, I think Uniswap has done a lot for crypto, and it's the future. It has first mover advantage. It's gone from 0 to 1, kind of under the whole Peter Thiel premise, and it's been very, very disruptive. Now the question is, will they carry on and take crypto to the moon and beyond? With that being said, tell us what you think down in the comments below. Okay, all right. So let's see here how we're doing with the audience. Let's see. Uniswap is associated with Coinbase. Yes, Khalil. So Coinbase Ventures did invest in them, and I think that was just really a way to protect themselves, right? So they're now aligned with Coinbase. So I think that's why Binance is even more nervous now, because Binance did launch their own. Actually, I'm sorry, a new DEX launched on Binance chain called Burger Swap, which is pretty much a fork of Uniswap. I'm not sure whether it's a project for Binance. I think they're just helping them out, but either way, they're trying to bring all that liquidity back onto their chain. But I don't think Binance. I mean, sorry to say this, the Binance army, please don't kill me, but I don't think Binance does decentralization well. It's not really in their ethos. It reminds me of Google. Google never really did well when it came to launching social media applications, because it's not really the Google way. And I think we're starting to see Binance is still great, and I'm still bullish on Binance, right? Binance is a top 10 coin. However, because they're centralized in nature, everything they do to their core will not really be truly decentralized. And as a result, I don't think they can really compete at the same game as all these other decentralized projects or DEXs. They have to come up with their own way to really innovate, which I think they'll do, right? So tell us what you think down in the comments below. So let's go to shoutouts. So the first person on the live stream, according to this, was Zilong. What's up, Zilong? How are you? Welcome. What's up, Eric? How are you? Eric on Twitter. We have Coin Hodler, Brown Crypto, Daz Zavani, trying to make them gains. Absolutely, absolutely. What's up, Rosa? Coin Hodler. We have Sylvan. What's up? Rob, Benji, Kriza2000. He says, what's up, Token Metrics family? Definitely subscribe and smash the like button if you haven't subscribed yet. What's up, Diego? Diego says, my favorite Sunday event. Smash those likes. What's up, Soy Frey? Dragon Ball Crypto says, how's How to Rap Drew doing? Drew is doing well. He's in LA. He was actually planning to go to Europe before the whole pandemic happened, so that kind of spoiled his kind of European tour. But everything's good with him. Good vibes, RCK. All right, crypto family. Thank you. So I think let's hop straight into the crypto market. So Bill, how do things look?
All right. So let's take a moment to review. All right. So something came out and altcoins went down. We all know that. Now, what did big players after altcoins went down? They tried to sell something to protect themselves, right? They tried to hedge with Bitcoin. Okay. That was probably like here. Okay. What did Bitcoin do? As soon as they shorted it, it went up. Okay. And the hedgers got stopped out. So they lost money when the altcoins went down. They shorted Bitcoin and they shorted Ethereum as well. Okay. And right here, up at 390, they got stopped out. So why am I telling you this? Well, because yes, there is never a dull moment in crypto, but this is particularly brutal because this is called P&L destruction, right? Your longs went down,
Actually,
Okay.
Bill, apologies on that. My screen was turned to me. Could you redo that again? Apologies.
Okay, you want me to start all over?
Yeah.
All
Apologies
right,
on
so
that.
let's start it all over. Okay, so the story of crypto recently. So we're going to do something a little unusual and we're going to review. All right. So Sushi Swap comes out. Everyone everyone gets upset. Somebody talks about capital gains, altcoins go down. What do big players do? Okay? Because it happens so fast. What do people do? They short Bitcoin. They short something, hoping that that something will go down and make up for their altcoin losses. Okay? That was probably about here. Then what did Bitcoin do? Well, it went up $1,000. So the things that they were owning went down and the things that they were shorting went up. This is called P&L destruction. Okay. The same thing happened in Ether. They tried to sell Ether, and I don't know if you remember, but Ether had this huge pop to 390. Okay. That was everybody getting stopped out of their Ether shorts. Okay. Then after that, what happens? People are left unhedged. They don't have any protection. They're sitting here with altcoins, okay, and they're hoping that they're going to stop going lower, that the bulls are going to come in and take charge. So Friday and early this morning, I took a look at this market and I said, you know what? If you look at things like, say, Kava, okay, this thing has been pretty beat up. Okay, this is Ren. Okay, there's like a big support down here. This looks pretty beat up. And I was wondering if this might be an opportunity for bulls to take charge. Okay, and at 5 a.m. this morning, I'm like, hey, let's take a shot. Let's jump in the pool. Okay, by 12 noon, I looked up. We were in the pool and there was a toaster inbound and the whole market was down 10%. Okay. And I'm like, what happened? I said, well, people just suddenly gave up right as Sunday morning talk shows about politics were on. And I know readers are out there going, dude, it's crypto. It's not the normie world. We don't want to talk about this. I know. I don't either. But this thing with the Supreme Court justice is important. And here's why. Crypto really doesn't care, or it might, whether it's the right or the left that wins. Okay. The problem with this thing with the Supreme Court justice is if the election is contested and there's 8 members on the court instead of 9, okay, you may not know who the president of the United States is. You may not know who won the election. And over the weekend, you know, people in markets were like, wow, this is not good. And people are really revved up. Like the political organization on the left, which is where this justice, you know, was leaning, they raised $50 million over the weekend. Like if you thought Americans were all fired up and wound up before, it seems worse now. So this may be creating a situation where someone goes, okay, I loved altcoins. They went down. I lost money. I tried to protect myself. Those hedges went up. I lost money. Now you're telling me there's this weird thing happening. Oh my God, I'm selling. Now, I'm not saying that's the right move, but I just want to give everybody, because sometimes it's good for an analyst to give you the narrative, right? So what we're watching right now on our screen is people giving up on altcoins, okay? Now, that could end as soon as I stop talking. That could end in 2 weeks, right? Because there's, you know, we're going to try some new things on the show, like what actually is the price target, okay? Well, I don't have one right now for the whole market because we have to see what's going to happen with equities. We have to see if they care, all right? The one thing I can tell you is crypto traders, we're now at a point where you really want to start paying attention to 2 things. How can I build a portfolio because one thing that happened this week is coins were all over the place, right? Oracles would be down, DeFi would be up, and then Oracles would go up, and then DeFi would crash, right? It was crazy. So you don't want to just hold or trade one coin. You want to start thinking about a group of coins, and of course, Token Metrics. You join Token Metrics, you hit the indices button, and you could spend all day there if you wanted to. You also want to be looking for where people might give up and say, wow, if Chainlink goes to 7, because we do have a price prediction model talking about Chainlink at 8 or 7, okay, which was brought to my attention because I was thinking 10 might hold. Okay. You want to start thinking about where you want to buy the best stuff. You don't have to be in a hurry, but you want to know the levels. So that's the story of crypto up until 6:45 Washington, D.C. time.
Okay, so question for you, Bill. So, I mean, for our audience who are probably wondering, why do we pay so much attention to what's happening with the U.S. election? Right? Because the U.S. election will affect equities and the stock market. And for the last, pretty much since the pandemic, what happens with the stock market has been affecting Bitcoin. And what happens with Bitcoin has been affecting altcoins, right? And we're pretty much an altcoin heavy show, right? So that's why we're paying very close attention to equities. And as a result, if Wall Street is paying very close attention to the US election, we have to as well, right? So what Bill mentioned in terms of, in the US, we have 9 judges, right? Or we had 9 judges, and it's an odd number. So that way, if there's any difference, there's basically a tiebreaker, essentially, right? But now we have even amounts with 8 judges, meaning that there'll be no tiebreaker, and we could be in possible chaos, as Bill mentioned, or as people mentioned, if there's any questioning of the validity of the election results, right? Now, Bill, you also mentioned that Goldman Sachs also posted some comments in terms of their stance with the upcoming election. Could you maybe kind of share that?
Right. So one of the big blogs reported that Goldman is saying that, Joe Biden's comments or Joe Biden may not be friendly for equities or the dollar. Okay. Now, obviously, they have a lot of smart people working there. I worked there for 12 years, but my kind of response to that is, they're a little late with those comments because he's already made comments about taxation for corporations and unionizing workforces. For crypto fans, that type of stuff, I'm not going to make you read an economics book, but crypto fans want things that are friendly towards innovation and speculation, right? Higher taxes, higher capital gains taxes, worry in legacy capital markets. It can spill over into crypto because remember, crypto isn't just me, you, our customers, and the individual crypto family. It's also big players, right? There's big players in crypto. That's the difference between crypto now and say crypto in 2016, all right, and even 2017. So we pay attention to the election because we want to know, hey, is the environment favorable to speculating, trading, and investing in new things? Okay. And for markets, for your education, okay, uncertainty is like poison, right? Like if we know it's good or we know it's bad, then the market can react accordingly. Sometimes markets can go up when we know it's bad because we know. Mm-hmm. Now, when you start interjecting, I don't know, otherwise known as IDKFS, I don't know for sure. Too much IDKFS is like too much chips and dip at the football party. It can just leave you feeling not so good. All right. Mm-hmm. So that's why we follow it. And that's why the market may be trading the way it is, because I'm sure altcoin traders are looking at their screen and going, what is this? Yearn Finance down 11%, Uniswap falling out of bed. There's got to be a broader reason.
All right. Thank you, Bill. And to our crypto family, tell us what you think down in the comments below. Definitely want to have you kind of participate in the discussion. Okay, all right. Let's take a look here with the audience and see how we're doing. Wow, lots of people on the stream. We love it. Definitely smash the like buttons. Definitely subscribe. Okay, so James says he came here from the future. And he's saying Ethereum will reach 1K next year. Okay, interesting. All right, so I think let's, Bill, let's have you cover Uni and kind of do TA on that.
Okay. Let me get to that.
Yeah, because our audience that's pretty much the coin of the week. All right, so let's hop straight into the TA and give our price target for that bullish and bearish perspective.
Okay, I'm getting there. Hang on one second. Okay, so Uni, the question of the hour. All right. Now, I'm gonna go out on a limb. Okay.
Mhm.
So I talked about IDKFS.
Yeah.
I don't know for sure. Here's what I think. I wrote this yesterday. The stuff went down in my face, and I don't care. It's pretty obvious to me.
Now, Bill, we're seeing the Bitcoin dominance window. Is that the right window?
Okay. Let me let's
Okay.
try it again.
All right, no worries.
Okay. Are you seeing it now?
Yes.
Are you seeing Uni? You got
Yes.
Uni?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So part of my thesis is DeFi is easy for people who are in crypto to sort of get their head around, but I'm not sure that some guy who normally trades Tesla options could come into crypto and go, oh yeah, I'm going to just go start yield farming, right? Or I'm going to start doing DeFi and earn interest on my coins. It might be easier for somebody coming in off the street and going, okay, wait a minute. Uniswap is a token connected to the #1 decentralized exchange. Binance is connected to the #1 centralized exchange. Sushi is the silver to the Uniswap gold. All right. So my thinking is even if they smash these things, that you want to try to find a place to buy it, because I think Uniswap's going to 10. Okay. In other words, once someone's got a taste, okay, for what these things can do, if Binance coin went from $2, okay, when Multicoin Capital bought it, and then it turned around and went to 40, why can't Uniswap do the same thing? I mean, technical analysts have the benefit of just looking at the charts and saying these type of things, right? Why not? Okay. So this morning I was looking at 5.5. That did not work out. Okay. I think the primary reason was because a lot of other people were looking at 5.5. So I redrew something. Now I'm looking at 479. Okay. So if Uniswap can hold 479, okay, I think it can turn around and stabilize and go to $10. This assumes we don't have an election apocalypse. Now for Sushi, I'm looking at Sushi, and I'm not going to show the chart because it's not a lot of history. But from what I understand from smart people I know, Sushi has got to get above $2. If Sushi gets above $2, that could also help ignite the space. Now, I don't know when you're going to be watching this video. Obviously, I'm working off very short-term charts. So you may be watching this video a week from now. Hopefully, Uniswap is not at 2 because all the interns sell. Because it's possible. Right? I mean, people are like, I'm taking the money, dude, later. Okay, I understand that. But this concept of, say Bitcoin is money and participating in the new decentralized DeFi revolution by owning these exchange tokens. Okay. Because again, Binance coin during the IEO era, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. That's when Binance got hot. So this is a good space for people who are coming in now. And by the way, one thing I like about Uniswap is, Binance, of course, listed Uniswap right away so people could short it. And then Uniswap got themselves listed on Coinbase, which is basically like your buy and hold hodl crowd. Okay. Mm-hmm. So there are people who may come in and may think about hodling the Uniswap coin, like buying it and holding it, like I'll take a shot. Okay. People got plenty of Tesla profits to play with. Goldman made $100 million trading Tesla, and so did a lot of smaller guys. So there's money out there for crypto, okay, as soon as people stop freaking out. So my Uniswap price target, because the name of the video will be Uniswap price prediction, okay, I think Uniswap's going to 10, okay? If Uniswap goes to 2 and I've got egg all over my face, honestly, I'd buy it at 2. Yeah. Because if Uniswap's going away, so's our show. So that's how I would sum it up.
Yeah. I mean, like, if Uniswap goes away, I mean, pretty much the entire crypto market is done, right? I mean, all of DeFi is going to zero. Everything's done, right? I mean, because actually, I mean, now maybe to kind of play devil's advocate, maybe somebody comes up with some DEX that's 10 times better than anything out there at the moment, right? And I think the only way to really do that is maybe if somebody's able to come up with a DEX that has 0 transaction fees, right? So, I mean, not to kind of get ahead of myself, but I know there are lots of other DEXs that are trying to compete with what's happening with Ethereum and DeFi, right? I know there's some stuff on Solana. I think there's Serum that's trying to kind of do the same thing. They're trying to have basically a DEX on their own blockchain on Solana that's a lot faster. Then there's PolkaSwap, which is trying to be a cross-asset DEX on Polkadot blockchain, right? But the adoption is not there yet because PolkaSwap hasn't even launched yet. They're probably going to launch sometime next year, right? So I think kind of in the short term, everything is good, right? So kind of as Bill mentioned, best case pretty much is $10. Worst case, $2 on the bear side. All right, now tell us what you think. Are you bullish or are you bearish? Where do you think Uni can go? Tell us down in the comments below. Okay, all right. So once again, let me pull up the Mentimeter code. Just give me a second here. All right, so if you have any questions to submit, please go to menti.com. That's MENTI.com. Use the code 1377041. That's 1377041 to ask your question. Our team will go through and we'll cover AMA towards the end. Now, it's time for Crypto Showdown. Crypto Showdown is back. Okay, just give me a second here. All right, so let your voices be heard. It's time for Crypto Showdown. Go to menti.com. The code is 1377041. And Crypto Showdown. What cryptocurrency token, what DEX token has the better future? So tell us what you think. Go and vote. We have Uniswap, Uni, and SushiSwap. The knockoff, basically. We have the original and the remix. Which one do you think has a better future? Bill, could you maybe kind of chime in from your perspective in terms of these two going head to head? I know we're basically hammering this point home, but let's have you kind of comment on that again.
Okay, well, I mean, because of the inevitability of PolkaSwap, which could be the real deal too, Uniswap can't afford to get shown up by SushiSwap at all. No more sushi problems, okay? SushiSwap's going to go down in history as the thing that topped and wrecked a 9-month altcoin season temporarily, okay? So I would say it would have to be Uniswap. Now, if Sushi does make a comeback, I'm not going to be upset because that means there's plenty for everybody, right? There's plenty of gravy in the kitchen. So I'm not going to be upset if Sushi does well, but Uniswap, by airdropping the interns, is making sure that they're going to be the top dog, and they're in a position to compete with PolkaSwap when that comes out.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, so my perspective, I think it's pretty much Uniswap's race to lose, because now that they've issued a token, the community is now back on their side, right? And we all know crypto investors and traders, as mentioned earlier, they're not really loyal. They'll go where they can get the best ROI, the best gains. And right now, by issuing a token and basically this stimulus program they've issued, right? Now people have essentially a couple grand worth of Uni tokens, and people enjoy that. So I think people in the short term would still remain on their side. SushiSwap, I think, as Bill mentioned earlier, is going to become Litecoin version of a DEX token, right? Kind of have Litecoin is a silver to Bitcoin's gold. I think SushiSwap will be for those people maybe who want something that's not owned by VCs, that's completely decentralized. It has had its drama, kind of like how Litecoin had Charlie Lee basically sell the top and basically exit. What happened with Shift Nomi was pretty much kind of like I think it's almost like a rite of passage in crypto, right? You have to have a scandal almost in crypto with a project before, because Bitcoin has had so many issues, or how many times have people proclaimed Bitcoin to be dead, and Bitcoin always bounces back. And I think kind of the same thing is happening. But I mean, if I had to choose one coin long term, I would choose the original as opposed to the remix or the knockoff, because whatever innovations Sushi could do, it's very easy for Uniswap to add to their protocol, right? And in terms of the actual usage and volume, it really makes sense to stick with Uni, because if we pull up DeFi Pulse here, just to kind of put things in perspective. So if we go to DEXs, at the moment, Uniswap has 1.94 billion in assets locked up, almost $2 billion. SushiSwap has about a quarter of that, about $500 million. So in the short term, I'm still more bullish on Uni, and I think that's really the way to go, because they're the original. Everything else is pretty much a knockoff. Okay, so now let's go to our audience. Let's see what the audience has voted. And no surprise, Crypto Showdown winner, Uniswap is the winner. People believe in Uni over Sushi. I think it pretty much makes sense. And tell us what you think down in the comments below. Do you think the audience is right? Do you think the community is wrong? Let us know what you think down below. Okay, all right. Let's go on to the next question. So this was a question Bill had. Let me pull this up. All right. So once again, go to minty.com. Tell us what you think. The code is 1377041. And the question of the day, how much will the US election affect crypto? Is it 10%? Is it 20%? Is it 40%? Or is it 80%? So how much of an impact do you think the US election will have towards the entire crypto market? Bill, what's your take on this?
Okay, I'm going with 40%. Okay, and I'm not going with a big number. That may sound like a big number, but I think it's actually reasonable. And I think crypto can potentially benefit if the United States of America becomes any more of a circus than it already is. Okay. So bad for the US could be good for crypto. Okay. I do think that if there is some sort of event where, basically the Fed can't help. That's one thing about the election you have to remember, is the Fed is like, they came out, they had their meeting. They're like, okay, guys, it's the election. We'll see you in March. If the Fed can't save everybody, that's the 40% that could impact crypto if something weird happens. Yeah. So I, along with everyone else in crypto, are dreaming about the day where people see crypto as the future. Things are so weird now that could actually happen. So it's not a 40% chance of something negative happening to crypto. I think there's also a 40% chance of something positive happening. So it's not all bad. The news might be bad, but it may not be all bad for crypto.
Yeah, I agree. Now, I think maybe we could have also maybe even added about the stimulus package, right? Because I think if that does get issued, I think it's definitely bullish for crypto as a whole. But yeah, I think I'd probably agree with you and say 40%, because that kind of seems like just about right, because I don't want to get too. I think going to 80% is probably overkill, because crypto has always had its own way of bouncing back, right? So I don't think the election, even it might affect it short term, but I think long term, over time, crypto will bounce back. But yeah, I mean, so let's go to what our audience has to say. So question of the day: how much will the U.S. election affect crypto? And the audience agrees with Bill. Pretty much they think 40%, but very interesting. Runner up, number 2, is 80%. So a lot of people think that pretty much what will happen with the U.S. election will affect the entire global crypto market. Very interesting. Then we have 20%, then 10%. So pretty much our audience is leaning heavily towards the U.S. election having a big impact on that. Any thoughts on that, on people thinking 80%?
Well, sure. I mean, when you have a presidential candidate come out and say, we're not going to be friendly to corporate taxation, I mean, check some of the stocks of some of the big companies that are impacted by that. Katy Perry on Instagram attacking Facebook for hate speech.
What happened with that? I totally missed that one.
Katy Perry and certain sort of pop culture superstars are using their Instagram feeds to pressure or try to get their users to sort of punish or stop using Facebook, claiming that Facebook is taking money from political organizations as advertisements and allowing speech that they don't agree with. Mm-hmm. Okay. So people, when they say 80%, they're seeing this election angst and all this anger spread out, and they're connecting that with all the red ink on their screen. Because let's face it, if you go back and watch our video from 2 months ago, right, we're like, hey, DeFi's here, crypto has a yield curve, the future is now, let's go. And then all of a sudden, it's red ink everywhere. So I don't blame our audience for trying to connect the dots and try to say, okay, yeah, everybody is selling because fill in the blank related to the election, right? It's the only thing that's really changed.
Yeah, makes sense. All right, so tell us what you think down in the comments below. Okay, moving on to. So unfortunately, there'll be no crypto therapy per se via voicemails. We're having some issues with the voicemails, so we'll go through and try to take care of that on the next live stream. But as usual, for future live streams, just call 1-888-90-TOKEN. That's 1-888-908-6536 to submit your question for the live stream. Okay, all right. So now let's hop straight into the AMA, right? So we have lots of questions here from our audience. Now let me just kind of go through and filter a few before we start. Let me see here. Okay, all right. So let's kick things off. So go to minty.com. Once again, minty.com. Use the code 1377041 to submit your question. So the first question: do you ever get scared of losing your wealth once you've made it? Wow, this is a very good question. Very good question. So I'll go ahead and try to answer this, and we'll also have Bill chime in as well. So my perspective: do I get scared of losing my wealth once I've made it? Honestly, no. I don't get scared, because I think if you make your wealth by accident, you'll feel scared. But I feel like if you've had a system of making wealth that you've gone through and you've checked all the boxes, crossed all the T's, dotted all the I's, and you've made money with that system, that gives you confidence and belief in your ability to repeat that process all over again. And I think the best example to me was, because I've actually gone through it, right? People saw me take about 20 grand, turn that into over $5 million in crypto, and people saw me get hacked and I lost over $2.5 million. And when I got hacked, then all of crypto Twitter began to just completely speculate and basically just spread FUD, fake news, that I hacked myself to avoid taxes, right? Like there's no way Ian could lose money from not storing his crypto properly, right? Because I was just crypto guru, whatever, right? So people, I can think there was lots of cognitive dissonance around that. But to me, when I lost that money, that same day that hack happened, right? That same night after, because it was during a live stream, right? So I had to abruptly end the live stream around midnight. Went to my room, locked myself there, was looking at the wallet, seeing that I've lost these tokens forever, right? Because I know in crypto, once you lose the money, it's gone. There's no refund process, and it definitely hurt, because I did plan to buy my family a house as a way to kind of say thank you for like raising me and all that stuff. So it sucked that this person or this group of people essentially took away the ability to fulfill a dream I had, right? To help my family out. But even when that happened, even when I was at one of the most lowest points in my life, I never once doubted my ability to make money again, because I knew I had gone through a system that's called token metrics, right? I knew I'd made money through a system, and I never doubted my ability to make money. If anything, I was even more confident in making that money back, because I wouldn't be going through that system for the first time. I had experience now, right? Because doing something for the first time is always the hardest thing to do, right? So it's very common to hear the phrase that making the first million is the hardest, but after that, it gets easier, because now you know what to focus on, you know what not to focus on, right? And I think with anything you do in life, right? Whether it's basketball, whether it's going to school, learning a new skill, learning a new subject, learning a new language, doing something for the first time is always the toughest time to do something. But once you've done it again, going through and doing it again is a lot easier, right? So to me, I was super confident in making that money back. I haven't really shared too much about this, but actually I have in my upcoming book, which I'm still kind of in the process of working on. But I was able to make back that money in less than 6 months, right? And that was through other activities outside of investing, right? That was just through just doing business development. We had hundreds of advisors. We had a big sponsors, right? Big sponsors coming in. So I never once doubted, because I knew that I had a system, and I knew I had faith in that system. And by sticking to it, it would be easier to make money before, right? So if anything, I was more confident. But going back to my earlier premise, if you make money by luck, then you'll be, that's when you really get scared, right? But if you make money without using luck, by having a system, obviously there's always luck involved, but I'm saying if you make it through having a calculated system and you have success with that system, then you're more confident making that money again. Bill, what's your take on this?
All right, so here's a different side to it. If you have money, and Ian's talking about earning your money, right? You could earn it again. Now, that is true, but it can keep you up at night, because the question is about getting scared. And this is already happening, so I'm not making it up, is if somebody makes you kind of a target because you've got the money. Okay, there's a wealth tax in California. New Jersey is taxing millionaires. And I don't even know how they're defining that. Now, we got this idea from a country called Cyprus, which I believe you can Google, and they did something called a bail-in. Not a bailout, a bail-in, where they just took 10% of everyone's bank account to guarantee the government's solvency. Okay. Now, that's not losing all of your money. So it's not like, okay, I made all this money and then I lose it. But the fear comes in when someone targets you for having it. Right. And, this is crypto. Look at my background. We want to go thumbs up. We want to be positive. Okay. But the answer to this question is, if wealth makes you a target, okay, that can change your behavior. That can keep you up at night. Okay. And what I can say is, I hope it doesn't, because crypto is the true land of the free. It's not only the crypto family, it's the crypto free family, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, actually, I mean, that's a pretty unique perspective. So kind of looking at it from that side, yes, I think making money can keep you up at night. And actually, from that perspective, it has kept me up at night, right? But I mean, I think to me, it wasn't really about losing the money per se, but it was just more about just personal safety, right? Because being so public, right? So during our Crypto World Tour, when I was going to different parts of the world, some parts where it was pretty much the Wild Wild West, right? So I've definitely had calls even. So for example, when I was in Egypt, right? I was in Egypt during the Crypto World Tour, and there were people online making online death threats towards me, right? So having to call the FBI to report online death threats definitely kept me up at night, because when I did it, it was basically after midnight, right? So that part definitely did keep me up at night, but it was more just about personal safety as opposed to losing my wealth, right? Or for example, when I was traveling to Russia or Ukraine for the first time, and I've heard so many stories about people with crypto getting kidnapped, right? So that kept me up at night, right? So it's kind of more about personal safety again, as opposed to losing the wealth. But I think it's definitely a very unique perspective. So curious to know what our community thinks, what our audience thinks. Are you scared of losing your wealth once you've made it, or are you bulletproof? Are you not scared? Tell us what you think down in the comments below. Okay, all right. Great question. Keep them coming. Okay, so we have. Okay, so next question. Hi, Ian. How much is enough? Crypto has made me greedy. I make great profits, but I still want more. Okay, very interesting question. Let's begin with Bill.
Okay, so that's a great question. How much is enough? All right. Now, when I first learned trading psychology, before everyone watching the show was born, the guy who taught it to me said, if you look at your P&L on a trade and you go, wow, that's a lot of money. Like, I did really good on that trade. And even if you don't know anything about charts, anything about fundamental or quant, you don't know anything. You just look at it and go, damn, take the money. Your brain, your body, it knows. It sees it. Take the money. I would say this actually goes back to whatever Ian just said. If you've done it before, shoot your shot, right? If the 20-foot jumper's working, keep doing it, right? If you can invent new things to do, keep doing it. But the thing is, when you go, oh, wow, right? Because, nobody thought they had to take profits. We were talking about taking profits along the way 3 months ago, and we knew we were getting ignored, okay? But that's now something that probably on the next run will be on the forefront of people's minds.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think this is something everybody has to kind of go through, right? So once again, the question was, how much is enough? Crypto has made me greedy. I make great profits, but I still want more. I think the main thing you have to think about is everyone is different, right? So look at what kind of lifestyle do you want to live, right? So whether you want to just have a nice house, nice car, and that's it, that's fine, right? If you have bigger ambitions, that's fine as well. But just figure out how much money you need to live. And once you have that, once you're comfortable with whatever number, whether that's making 100 grand a year, whether that's making 1 million a year, whether that's making 100 million a year, right? Who knows, right? But I think just figure out what the bare minimum is for you to have the lifestyle you desire, right? And then work towards that. And then I think you could possibly kind of take your foot off the gas pedal, to kind of speak in that metaphor. But at the same time, you also want to keep on leveling up. Now, this isn't for everybody. This depends on your personality and what you want to achieve. But I mean, honestly speaking, I'm just like you. Okay. I mean, but to me, I don't view it as greed, right? Not to get philosophical, but I view it as graduating. I view it as raising the bar, right? Because I view making money almost as a game. And once you achieve success on a particular level, you want to keep on raising the bar because that's the only way you get better, right? So if you're a trader, if you're an investor, if you've made 100 grand in crypto and investing, that's good, right? I mean, obviously take the money, take profits off to live off of, but don't just go and retire to a beach, right? Now, you could do that for a bit, but after a while, it gets boring very, very quickly. Then you want to get back in the game, get back in the saddle, and try to do better than your last performance, right? And I think, for example, with me, right? Once again, people saw me take about 20 grand, turn that into 5 million. And honestly speaking, I kind of did take a break from crypto, right? It wasn't like a complete break, but in 2018, I went on a crypto world tour. I quit my job at IBM, went to travel the world, went to over 35 countries in 1 year. That was kind of like a mini vacation, right? We're still doing business, still investing, but I was not working 6 to 7 days a week, putting in 12 to 15 hours a day. I was not doing that. I was not working like that. I was maybe working not 4-hour work week level, but I was probably working less than 40 hours. I would say probably at the most 30 hours a week, right? And then I began to delegate. I began to things that initially I was doing myself, like the research. I began to kind of build a team around me, and I'd kind of just delegate to them. And I began to just kind of enjoy the fruits of my labor. But after a while, that gets boring, right? After a while, you want to get back in and work those 12 to 15-hour days, work 6 to 7 times a week. That's kind of the way my mind is programmed. And to me, that began when I began working on token metrics, right? Because I had achieved success in investing, and I'd seen so many companies I was investing in messing things up. And I told myself, like, I've been an entrepreneur. Like, I think I can do X, Y, and Z better. Let me put my money where my mouth is. Let me try building something great in the crypto space, in the blockchain space. And initially, it was just an idea as I was kind of in crypto retirement. But after a while, I was like, you know what? I feel like, because I was basically 30 years old, a millionaire, but I wanted more. It wasn't just more money. I wanted to achieve more in life, right? I was not content with just ending my life story there, right? Crypto millionaire, made money with Icon, made money with Dragon Chain, Wabi, and that's it. Because I was so young, I had more than 30 years ahead of me, and I wanted the next chapter in my life. Because in a way, I like to view my life like a movie, and you always want like the next part of that movie to be better than the last, right? And I said, if I go for the next 30 years, just staying at the same level, it would almost feel like I didn't fulfill my fullest potential. So I said, okay, what can I do next that is bigger than what I've done in the past? And to me, it wasn't really investing, because in a way, I felt like investing, you're kind of a rent seeker. Even though we all invest, right? You're basically riding the coattails of somebody else. And for those who know me, I've always had a bigger ambition. And to me, it's a way to give back, right? Because for those who kind of don't know, like my why, my purpose is to become one of the few African Black billionaires out there, and then to use my wealth in the same manner like how Bill Gates used his wealth with the Bill Gates Millionaire Foundation, to go back to Uganda, where I'm from, and Africa, and help other entrepreneurs come up and make money, right? My goal is to take where I'm from in Uganda from being a third world country into possibly a first world country, right? And I know that can be helped by making money, right? By also being an example to others, right? In the same way how Jeff Bezos has used his wealth to now build, to now try to get humans to space. Same thing with Elon Musk, right? So I feel like wealth can help a lot of people besides just yourself. And I think by making billions, I can help Africa and where I'm from, right? So it's kind of a different perspective. So to me, I don't view making money as evil. I've done a video on this before in the past, where I think it's noble to try to aspire to become a billionaire, because what better thing can you do? Because if you have money, you can impact the world with your money in whatever you want to do, whether it's through climate change, through poverty, through whatever. Why wait for a government stimulus package when you can be the stimulus package, right? So that's kind of my perspective on that. Bill, anything to add to that?
Yes. Winston Churchill was the leader of England during World War II. And he has a quote somewhere where he says that every human being will get one shot in his or her lifetime to make a tremendous difference, right? To be a part of humanity. And your job on the planet is to spend your life getting ready for that moment. Now, my moment was when I went on LinkedIn and I saw Diary of a Made Man investment analyst. And I said, this is it. This is what you've been training for, right? Kind of like, I feel like all the stuff from Goldman, you know, the crypto stuff with Charlie, right? I want to be there, right? I'd love to be there when you blew up and got the billions for Uganda, but I'd also like to be there if you got the billions for Uganda, because crypto changed the world. And I was the Jim Cramer of crypto, helping lead the flock to the promised land, right? So I think kind of like Winston Churchill, right? Like, I want to be there for the big, big moment. I want people tuning in to say, what does that guy have to think right now?
Yeah. Yeah. You know, so, I mean, going back to the person's question, and let me pull it up here. Just give me a second. Right. So the question was, how much is enough? Right. So I would say, how much do you need to impact the world? Right. So whatever you want to do in the world, however you want to give back, how much money do you need to do that? Right. It could just be $1 million. It could just be 100 million. It could be billions. Whatever that number is, go for it. Right. So don't just think about how much wealth you need for yourself, but I would say, how much wealth do you need to help impact others? Right. Whether it's your community, whether it's your country, right? Whether it's whatever goals you have in life, whatever things you want to help build up, whether it's poverty, focus on that, and that will keep you motivated to make even more. But it's not really in a selfish way, because you're doing it for others. All right, so tell me what you think down in the comments below. Okay, so somebody's saying Sun Tzu, The Art of War. Recommend that book to everyone if you haven't read it. Yeah, I've read that book. It's a pretty good book. One book I also like, probably even more than Sun Tzu, is The 48 Laws of Power by Robert Greene. That's a pretty good book, I would say. Okay, let me go to the next question. Okay, somebody's asking us to look at ZPay. Bill, it's ZPAE. I'm not sure if that's trading anywhere. Let me take a look. Okay, I'm seeing it is trading on Hotbit. Now let me know if you're able to find anything.
Okay, I have something here.
Okay, all right, just give me a sec here. All right, let me know when ready.
Okay, let me, I'm getting there. It's coming. Okay. So this
Oh, wow.
is like this is the new altcoin world, right? So think of it, this chart reminds me of like a story, right? It was 2018 up, I'm sorry, 2017 up, 2018 down, 2019 do nothing, 2020 up. That's been the story of altcoins. This reminds me of like we're doing it all, except we're doing it in like a month, right? All the way up, all the way back down, and then, sit still and hang out. Okay. And I would say, whatever this is, if you liked it, I mean, it could go to zero. Your downside is zero. Your upside is a lot. Your upside is a repeat of this. Whatever drove this could come back. This is how I feel about alts in general, right? Now, I haven't talked much about this, but I'm looking for what I call in schoolyard basketball, the do-over. It's like, hey, we played DeFi, we played altcoins. Okay, great. Now we had a little bit of a foul, market went down. Okay, let's do it over. Let's do it again. That's almost a perfect do it again chart. I don't know if it is able to, but that's the type of formation I'm looking for.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Well said. Well said. And I think to add to that, kind of as Bill mentioned, go back and find out what made it pump and make sure ideally it's something that was due to actual fundamentals and not just like somebody just pumping and dumping it. It might be hard to figure out, but maybe it could have been a big YouTuber pumping it up, or maybe something else. Maybe they had an actual announcement. And then also check the roadmap and see, is there anything coming up that could cause it to recover, right? But definitely do be cautious, as Bill mentioned. It could go to zero, especially in times like this. And if anybody out there has that coin, tell us what you think. Are you bullish? Are you bearish? Post down in the comments below. All right, on to the next question. Okay. What are your thoughts on investing in ICOs by using the token Metrics ICO ratings and rankings and buying it on CoinList? Okay. Well, in general, ICOs haven't been the play this year, or in the last 2 years, really. It was IEOs last year. This year it's been DeFi and projects already trading on exchanges and yield farming. So I think investing via an ICO is very risky because you have no idea what could happen. Because even good projects typically have been following the same pattern where they pump, then they dump. And then you have this period where you can then accumulate a position over time, and then it bounces back up again, right? Textbook was Compound. Compound launched. There was no ICO for that. It was pretty much just, only the insiders, basically early adopters, like partners, investors, equity investors. They got in. It went up a lot for the week or so because it was brand new, it was sexy, it was the flash in the pan. It crashed. Then I think that's where people who believe in our project long term can accumulate. And I think that's the textbook way to play an ICO. But most ICOs I've seen on CoinList have been great projects, right? So from a pure technology code perspective, Scale Network comes to mind, CeeLo comes to mind, and others. They've been good. However, they've been what I would say overvalued. The valuations on CoinList have been pretty high. So I think if anything for CoinList, depending on how much you have to invest, maybe put a small position into the ICO if you want to, but keep a large amount on the sidelines ready to accumulate after a possible crash or correction, right? I would not put your entire capital into the ICO. I think you have to kind of treat it as, let me put maybe 10-20% into the ICO just to speculate, and I'm comfortable with that going to zero. Then after the FOMO has died down when it's trading, then maybe allocate the rest of the capital towards accumulating over some time. Bill, your perspective on that?
Okay, so anything like ICOs, you always have to be careful or mindful of regulatory risk, right? These DeFi tokens, and I think the miracle of Uniswap, where they're literally just sort of dropping the tokens in and creating a liquidity pool and not actually selling the tokens to anybody, is, I mean, nothing is bulletproof, but regulators can't nail you for selling tokens if you're not selling tokens, right? So you don't want to be invested in something that gets in trouble. Okay. So when you play in your ICOs, you don't want to have all your eggs in one basket and all the things that we usually say. And if you get the quick money, just take it. Like, don't even think about it. You do an ICO, you invest in it, you get a bunch of money, take it. Because most likely it's going to come back down. You know, like Uni wasn't an ICO, right? But, or even Polkadot, right? Polkadot, people love it. It has not even gotten anywhere near its high of 8. It's like trading at 4 something this morning, and it looked like it was going to go to 0. Hopefully it's recovered. So there is an opportunity to get in. You don't have to rush in. In other words, the people, remember, when you buy an ICO, there's someone on the other side, a venture capitalist, a person with sharp teeth going, oh, look, here he comes. Right? Here they come. Okay. So just remember that one on ICOs and IPOs.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you, Bill. All right. So let's check in here with the audience and see how we're doing in the comments. If you're enjoying the live stream, be sure to smash the like button, subscribe, and share with your crypto family and friends. Okay. Ciamon says ICOs are illegal in Europe, but KYC and AML. Okay. Gab says Uni does not pass the Howey test. Okay. Interesting. Then somebody says, Gab again, Hex is up 30% since I dumped my Uni for Hex. Okay, interesting. David Lopez says, you can do it, Ian. Look at what Akon did for Africa. Yeah, I think the Akon story is amazing, right? I think that kind of shows how somebody making money can give back, right? So, I mean, we're pro-capitalism. We're pro-making money, as much money as possible, to be able to impact the world in whatever means we would like to. Okay, David says, I need to get rich first. Okay. All right. Let me see here. What's the price prediction for ETH? I think we covered Ethereum, right? In the beginning of the show, but maybe let's go through that again.
We talked a little bit about the narrative of the market, but we didn't say this is the price prediction for ETH.
Okay, all right. Let's do that again then.
Okay. All right. So this is our new style. What is the price prediction for ETH? Okay. So this is ETH weekly. All right. It's such a crazy world that I've got to switch between intraday charts and weekly charts. Okay. So these lines that I draw, they're colorful. People like them. Okay. When I draw them, all right, I like to say, the market is going to go try to attack frequently the highest line. That is 900. Okay. So the price target for 2021 December for ETH is 900, because I believe that there is no way that the guys at Ethereum headquarters are going to allow themselves to get shown up by something named Polkadot. Right. I mean, I don't know. If you got run over by something called SpaceX, okay. But I don't want my legacy to be I got run over by something named Polkadot or Sushi Swap. whatever. It's just not going to happen. Right. So
Yeah.
I believe when these guys come back, right, sort of like a team coming back with a famous quarterback
Mhm.
or a famous player in professional sports like Michael Jordan. Okay. When Michael Jordan makes a comeback, you know what's going to happen. You know he's going to win in the end. Okay. And even though the gas fees, frankly, were embarrassing, I view that as a good thing for 2021 because they got to innovate faster. Because you know what? If they don't innovate faster, this market may never do what it was doing before. The next moonshot in DeFi and in crypto and in yield farming, et cetera, possibly even security tokens, depends on Ether getting its act together.
Yeah. Now, what would be the bear case for Ether? How low could it possibly go?
Okay, so the bear case for Ether, excuse my language, but when Ether was going down in 2018, there was a lot of talk on Twitter that it was going to turn into a double-digit shitcoin, and that was the end, right? And the way that happened, that way that could happen, is the only way governments can attack DeFi, right? It's decentralized by nature, but it all's got to run through Ethereum's plumbing. So if somehow somebody says, like Russia said, you can mine Bitcoin, but you cannot do a transaction in Bitcoin. If somebody said in a major Western democracy, you cannot hold Ether, there goes DeFi. That's the bear case, that some regulator gets wound up about DeFi. Now, don't we have enough problems to worry about?
Oh, in crypto?
I'm not worrying
Absolutely.
about those problems.
Yeah.
I'm not. Right. I want to think about the big dream. I don't want to think about Ether going from 300 to 220. I want to think of it going from 370 to 1,000.
Yeah. All right. So, I'm not sure if this is a question or a joke, but if somebody's saying, what about being run over by Tezos?
Okay, well, you know what? That's, you could get run over by Tezos, but Ethereum's got that brand name. Like people on the street may know what Ethereum is, right?
Yeah.
So Tezos may have better everything, okay, but Ethereum's still got the brand, unless this market just keeps dropping.
Yeah. So somebody's saying, Jay Moody's saying, ETH 2.0 launch in weeks, not months. Okay, is that the case? Have they put out a recent announcement? Okay, I haven't been following that up, but definitely worth looking into. All right, so thank you, everybody. Tell us what you think. What's your price prediction for Ethereum? Do you think Ethereum could possibly go to 900? Do you think it could go below double digits? What's your prediction? Tell us what you think down in the comments below. Okay, all right. Moving on to the next question. Okay, TA on Ampleforth. Charts look really good in my opinion. Okay, so let's have Bill pull that up.
Okay.
Let me also pull that up here on my end from the price prediction models. Let's also kind of begin bringing that into the show. And once again, if you haven't joined Tokenmetrics, be sure to join Tokenmetrics. We have AI price prediction models. We also have ratings on over 200 different cryptocurrencies. We're always adding more to our system, so definitely worth keeping an eye on. Go to tokenmetrics.com to join. Now, with Ampleforth, we have to really look at the market cap because the price is kind of tough to keep an eye on.
Okay, so I know people like Ampleforth. It's probably fun to trade. Okay, one of the things that I've been talking about since here. Okay. In other words, I kind of suspected that, people would get upset, here, right? At $3, it was the new Bitcoin. At 60 cents, it was the end of the world. Ampleforth came roaring back, the market cap, and then it started to disappoint and is now over here. Okay. My take from this chart is that somebody is going to come out with a better way to do what these guys tried to do. Like, I don't know, a lot of people were looking at,
That was
OM.
Yams and some others were trying to do that. Yeah.
Right. Some people were looking at OM. I heard ETH had an interesting model. Okay. I think one of the next big innovations is if somebody figures out how to improve on Ampleforth. Okay. On every show, it seems I got to make a joke about something that seems like recent history to me that people who are listening to me don't even know what I'm talking about. But I feel like Ampleforth is like the Netscape browser for the internet. It's the first thing that came out. Okay. But it's going to get eclipsed by Explorer, Safari, and then Chrome. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So somebody's going to come out with a better version of this. And that could be extremely powerful. And here's why. Cryptocurrency, if it has both interest rates and a money supply control mechanism, because that's what Ampleforth kind of does. It's, putting tokens in your wallet, taking tokens out of your wallet. It's rudimentary, but it's still a control of money supply. And to me, these things matter for the legitimacy of crypto long-term, the philosophy behind it. So when somebody comes up with a better Ampleforth, you better look out. Like, don't be short this market when that happens.
All right. Yeah. Well said. Well said. Now going to our price prediction models here. Now, once again, note this is looking purely at price, and Ampleforth is kind of tough to chart because it basically has a daily rebase. So it's probably better to look at the market cap. We're just kind of going through here. Our models have it pretty much going flat. So pretty much being around 60 cents or so, going between 60 and 70 cents is where our models have it going. But yeah, definitely share with us. Tell us what you think down in the comments below. What's your price prediction for Ampleforth? Is it going to be around $1, under 60 cents, over 60 cents? Is it going to the moon and beyond? Share with the community what you think down below. All right. Going to the next question. Okay, so next question. These are two coins. What are your thoughts on Mantra DAO and Rio DeFi? Mantra DAO and Rio DeFi. So we have been hearing about that. So let's have Bill. I think let's begin with Mantra DAO, if you can find that. These have been pretty popular. We don't have them on our system, but Mantra DAO's token symbol is OM, and it is trading on OKX and BitMax, and Uniswap as well. Okay, yeah, so looks like it does have some volume. It has over 8 million in volume, which is
okay. So this is up in the corner. If I got the right symbol, Mantra DAO.
Yes, yeah, that's correct.
Okay. So I don't really have a price scale, so I would call this "Play It Again, Sam." Okay. This thing started here, went up for a reason. Okay, and then everybody got caught, and now I call that this right here. These green candles, I call that a green shoot. So when a forest burns down, almost immediately, little green shoots of new plant life starts coming up through the black ash. The term was made very popular with equities coming off the bottom in 2008. I think there's a lot of green shoots in a lot of places in crypto.
Mhm.
What's the other symbol?
The other one was Rio. Let me pull that up again. Rio DeFi. Let me find that symbol as well. Rio. So R fuel is their symbol. Okay, yeah, I'm not seeing this on CoinMarketCap. It doesn't look like this trading yet. And we definitely don't have this on Token Metrics. This might be too new to even chart. Let's check CoinGecko. Yeah, so this I'm not seeing anywhere. So pretty much we'll just keep it at that. So we just took a look at Montreal. So is anybody bullish on Montreal? I've been hearing about that a lot in the comments below. So definitely share with us what you think. Okay, all right. On to the next one. Okay, news on Kraken becoming a bank. Sounds counterintuitive because crypto is, well, the whole point of crypto is to go away from banks, but there will be a transition period. Then the rest of the question cuts off. So basically he's asking, is it good for Kraken to become a bank? Because crypto is meant to be banking ourselves. Bill, your comment with Kraken becoming a bank?
Yes. Great news item. Folks, here's the deal. If you're in crypto and you want to make a lot of money, you got to have everybody who's in legacy has to have a bridge to come over to crypto. So first they have to realize they have to come over to crypto. That hasn't happened yet because they're too busy trading Tesla options. And then when they do realize it, they need a bridge to get here. Like, our audience is so sophisticated in what they can do. Frankly, even our group at Token Metrics, sometimes I sit there and marvel at the knowledge level. And then I get off and I go, oh my God, how are the dummies that are in some of these other markets going to learn all this? Well, the way they're going to learn it is if they have Kraken has a bank, people put money in Kraken's bank, and then Kraken says slowly, hey, come on over to crypto. We'll help get you in, right? I have kind of a dream of a Token Metrics branch on a very stylish street in Austin, Texas, with people like with iPads, like an Apple store where you can come in and get onboarded to crypto. Somebody has to get the legacy universe and the people that participate in it over to crypto. So good for Kraken.
Yeah, I agree. I think for blockchain and crypto companies, it's very tough to run a business without having a bank account, because even with crypto, even with stablecoins, because not every vendor accepts crypto yet. Now, crypto is not fully mainstream. So running a business, you definitely do need to have a banking provider that is pro crypto. So I think it's definitely great for the space. All right. Next question. Okay. Thoughts on UNN.finance, which is Union Finance. Okay. Let's check this one out. I haven't heard of this before. I mean, lots of coins are launching. It's hard to keep up with everything. All right, so let's check this one out. So it was Union Finance, UNN. Yeah, I'm not seeing this on CoinMarketCap at all. Looking at their website, Union is a complete ecosystem built for DeFi. What is Union? Yeah, okay, yeah, seems like it's a project that hasn't launched yet. So unfortunately, you don't think we can really cover this much. So I think we'll just have to stop there with that one. Okay, sorry, just give me a second here. Okay, all right, let's move on to the next question. Okay, next question. Somebody's asking about Unilend. Yeah, I'm not seeing that as well. let's try to keep the questions to projects that are already trading. That would be easier. Okay, so here's one we have. Your thought on Frontier. Symbol is front, Front. It's trading. Okay, so we'll have Bill pull that one up. Let me take a look and see if we can find that as well. Okay, so Frontier is currently sitting at a 687 market cap rank. Volume is 6.8 million. It's trading on OKX Huobi and Balancer. Okay, yeah, so this seems to be actively traded at the moment.
Okay, and I'm going to do some analysis on this. So let me call it up.
Okay.
Okay, because this is something, the style of analysis I've been looking to do on all of these coins. Okay, in other words, everything starts off, this is very typical. So how do you explain Elliott wave in English? Well, it's pretty difficult. I actually just had a book come in the mail. I'm super excited about it. Well, one of the things that happens is something goes all the way up, okay, and then it comes all the way back down again, okay? And you see this right here, this particular line.
Mm-hmm.
This is the line that it's supposed to hold. So this is Frontier, right?
Yeah.
And it's supposed to hold this line. And of course, what does it do? What do all these red candles mean? It's me waking up at noon going, oh my God, what are they doing with this market after the Sunday talk shows? It's people giving up, right? I'm always looking for the give up tree. We've talked about this on other shows. So what I think of Frontier is, this is a 15-minute chart. So, I mean, if you're watching this next week, you know, it's going to be pretty dated.
Mm-hmm.
But if Frontier actually starts to recover and starts to move up the way it moved up here, right? So I'm going to give you the style of movement, right? You know, it goes, you know, there's an initial move up, then there's a drop, okay? Then there's, you know, a kind of a mini moonshot. Then there's a correction. Then there's a huge moonshot. That's called impulsive price action. See this green candle here? I bet somebody's getting after this thing looking for another leg of impulsive action, right? In other words, green shoots from the forest fire, right? They're looking for the next wave.
Yeah.
You know, the election affects crypto 40%, 60% means it doesn't, right? At some point, I don't know if it's today, it could be, someone's going to start doing that trade. And I can tell by these questions, people are dying to do it.
Yeah. Now, I think with the charts, there isn't really, it's kind of tough to give a price target on that one because it's basically a 15-minute chart. But tell us what you think. What's your price prediction for Frontier? Do you plan to give up or do you plan to buy more? Tell us what you think down in the comments below. All right. Okay, so let's go on to the next question. Okay, so if there was a DeFi platform that had staking like YFI for cross-chain on ETH, ERC20, Neo, NEP5, and Ont, which is I think Ontology, would you be bullish? So basically, if there was a DeFi platform that had cross-chain staking, yeah, I mean, I think anything cross-chain would definitely be a great narrative. And if you add staking to that, that would be even better. So the question is, what DeFi platform will that be? Because the technology also has to be great, right? Because nowadays, just saying you're going to do something is not really going to fly, especially in this market. So all the cross-chain blockchains that come to mind are Polkadot. So I think it would probably have to be on Polkadot. If there's cross-chain staking on Polkadot, I mean, that could be a game changer. Assuming the technology is good, right? So whatever project is able to do that, I think it would definitely be quite the narrative. I think there'll be lots of FOMO with that. Bill, any thoughts on cross-chain staking for DeFi?
Yeah, I think if you can do it on Polkadot and you can do it in a way where people can understand it, because that's key, right? You can have the coolest thing ever, but people have to get it and be able to do it. So if you put those two things together and then, you probably just say Polkadot, if it works, yeah, it's going to be big and people are going to do it.
All right.
And
so go ahead. Sorry.
No, and it also, this thing about cross chain, that stuff's really important because that's where crypto is like tech stocks. That's how I think of it. Like when I think about Chainlink and Polkadot, they're like small tech stocks. If Apple's market cap is 2 trillion, everyone thinks Chainlink is out of control because it's worth 1 billion. That's why I have such a hard time thinking Chainlink is going to go to 5. You know what I'm saying? It's like, oh, really? We have to kill the $1 billion entity, and the multi-trillion-dollar entities are getting kind of a pass in what has been called the most crowded trade ever. So every time I hear the word cross-chain, or I hear, things like oracles, on Team Token Metrics, honestly, in terms of the plumbing, I'm probably on the lower level of understanding about these things, but I look at them like tech stocks, right? And good luck trying to find a cheap tech stock. Good luck. Outside of crypto.
Yeah.
So something to keep in mind.
All right. Thank you, Bill. Okay. All right. Moving on to the next question. Okay. What is the next boom in crypto? Is it NFTs or gaming? Okay. Interesting question. Honestly, I haven't been keeping too much tabs in terms of what's happening in crypto gaming or even NFTs. I know lots of people have been bullish on it. I know our friend Elliot Trades is bullish on NFTs, and he's actually building something with NFTs. But in terms of the NFT projects out there, the ones that come to mind, I mean, yeah, honestly, nothing comes to mind. So I think we're still in DeFi. I think the next trend is DeFi. Okay, so I wouldn't go shopping elsewhere until DeFi has maximized its fullest potential. Now, we did come across some NFT projects in the crypto space last year when we went to Techstars. There was Blockade Games. I know that they're now doing something with Matic Network, so maybe worth looking into. They're basically building games on layer 2 Matic, I believe. There's Crypto Kitties. That was pretty popular back in 2017, 2018. They have deals with the NBA, and I think even with Major League Baseball as well, so worth keeping an eye on. I know they're also building a blockchain called Flow that somebody in a network invested in. They told us about, I think it was earlier in the year. And I think that there's some news on that, so keep an eye out on that. Then in terms of blockchain gaming has yet to take off. You have the Decentraland, which is not really gaming. It's kind of more like virtual worlds. But yeah, nothing really comes to mind. I don't think we're there yet when it comes to, because if we can barely trade without having to pay a bunch of money in fees, how is gaming going to happen? Right, so I think we have to first figure out the scaling and transaction fee issue before gaming can happen, because I think it has to happen on Ethereum. Other blockchains, they don't really have the adoption yet. So that's kind of my take on that. Bill?
Okay, so if there's going to be another theme in crypto, forgive my simplicity, but helium is the model, right? you buy something, you plug it in at home, your router, your Xbox, something, and you get paid for sharing your hardware, or you play games with someone else that creates value. But there's going to be this era where this helium model, where you buy something, you plug it in, and you get paid for sharing something, will come along. Is that going to be a theme like DeFi that can drive a 9-month bull market? Probably not.
Yeah. So there's a comment here from Richard. He's saying Sand project. Yeah, so actually our team did do a tech review on Sand, and that is a pretty legit project. So that was the one of the recent Binance IEOs. Let me pull it up here. Now maybe we can even have Bill chart that. So it's called the Sandbox, and their token symbol is just sand. And it's kind of a gaming platform. Let me see if we even have any price predictions on this. Yeah, so our price prediction models on this are still kind of learning how this moves. Right now they have it pretty much kind of going flat, pretty much neutral on it. I'm curious to see what Bill has to say from a TA perspective.
Here we go. Okay, so this has the hallmark of something that it went up, okay, and whoever was pumping it, when they couldn't pump it to a new high, they just dumped it harder. Right? So this has the feel of somebody who exited, right? Someone who saw it come out and was like, we're headed for the door. Now, this type of formation down here, during like the Uniswap, moon phase, this type of consolidation was bullish. I don't know we're in that mode anymore, right? You're either going to like make a spike bottom and come back up because bears just exhaust themselves. But like, sitting around like that in this environment could be a recipe for getting pushed off the table. Now, don't get me wrong. I would love to be incorrect about that and have the Uniswap Moonbox and Triangle come back. We work for Token Metrics. We would love it. But we have to be realistic based on what's been happening to this tape.
All right. Thank you, Bill. And tell us what you think. Are you bullish on NFTs, on gaming, on the Sandbox? Tell us down in the comments below. Okay, let's check in with our audience and see how we're doing here. And be sure to smash the like buttons and subscribe and share the video with your crypto family. And happy Sunday to everyone. Okay, somebody's saying good for 10x by next year, Theta. Okay, interesting. People are talking about CeeLo. Bullish on oracles and DeFi. Okay, have you looked at Celsius and Cell app? Cell is the top gainer last days, and Tether just invested 10 million in Celsius. Yeah, I mean, Celsius, we actually had Alex on the show a while back. Will alts crash tomorrow or Tuesday? Well, I mean, I think in this market it's kind of hard to say because kind of as we mentioned earlier in the show, anything could happen, right? Market is moving very, very fast. Bill is the man. Yeah, Bill is.
Thank you.
Okay, all right. Back to the AMA. Okay, what is the use case of Uni token? I don't understand the whole use to governance thing. Okay, well, I mean, governance in the sense that you can use the token to vote for how the decentralized protocol governs itself. So basically how it can make changes to the network, to the protocol. So whether you want to change different parameters on the protocol. So people in other protocols have had voting on whether or not to increase the token supply, whether or not to change the inflation schedule, whether or not to change the reward schedule, right? Or change the staking model, whether or not to do anything really, right? So it's kind of like having a Congress that is owned by the community, and a token represents their ownership and their amount of voting power they have, right? Now I haven't looked too deeply into Uniswap's governance model, but I did see on Twitter that YFI is trying to have their community delegate their votes so that they can all vote on how it's governed, or they can all vote in one block, I believe. And just give me 1 second here. Let me see if I can access the governance page on Uniswap. So if we go here, right, okay, yeah, so there's a blog post on governance. Let's take a look real quick. So there's a 30-day governance grace period before I think governance can start. Now, yeah, this one. Okay, yeah, so there's distribution for the community treasury, and they can give out rewards to people who want to help build the network. And I think that can also be voted upon by the governance. So if they have a treasury fund and they want to have people, developers mainly, build new projects, or kind of like what Ethereum has with Gitcoin grants, right? So if they want to give out grants, that can also be done through governance, it looks like. And it says governance assets. Yeah, so we hope to see a variety of experimentation, including ecosystem grants and public goods funding, both of which can foster additional Uniswap ecosystem growth. Okay, so actually here it says it will be live from day one, although control of over the treasury will be delayed until October 17th. So basically there'll be a treasury and the community can vote on what they want to fund to help build the protocol. And I think at a high level, that's kind of the main point of governance. And then also for any technological upgrades to their protocol. Bill, any comments in terms of governance for Uniswap or just crypto in general?
Well, I try not to think too much about governance, because if the SEC is going to get DeFi, it's going to get it with governance, right? They're going to claim it's securities or ownership or whatever. So I like the idea of having something that reflects the value of the entity, because I'm a free markets guy. These guys just got to make sure they're passing the Howey test, right?
Yeah. All right. Tell us what you think. Do you like the token model for Uniswap, or do you think it can be better? Tell us down in the comments below. All right. Let's move on to the next question. Okay. Do you guys have internships for the fall or spring year? Yes. Although most of the internship roles have been filled, but we do have internships available. Now, right now, let me see. The quant team internships are already filled, but in general, I would say just send an email to info@tokenmetrics.com, include your resume and why you think you'd be a good fit, and maybe if there's a particular role you would like to intern with. But most of the roles are already filled, but I mean, we're always open to see, like, if somebody is amazing, if somebody is doing great work. Actually, I would say the roles that we could use help with would be if you're an Ethereum smart contract developer and you have a pretty good resume or track record, meaning that you've worked with great companies before, or you've built great things before, and you have a GitHub. That would probably be one of the things we need the most at the moment. Outside of that, if you have a good understanding, actually I would say if you have a great understanding of the crypto space, meaning that you've been investing for a while and you think you could add value in some capacity, whether it's through your investment analysis, maybe you really understand DeFi, and you're a good writer, for example, same thing, email us as well. Yeah, that's kind of that. Maybe if you're a trader, right? Maybe you could intern with Bill. Bill, any comments?
One of the best things that I think we're doing as a company is we're giving young people a shot at really shining, right? These kids are getting a shot at like really building a business. It's not just like some internship job where you're like shuffling papers around.
Yeah.
Or doing email. Like these guys are like building a business.
Yeah. I mean, one of the cool things with summer batch and also spring batch of interns we had, I mean, especially the investment analysts, I was there with them pretty much twice a week going through how to do fundamental analysis, right? Like coaching them, mentoring them, not just handing off to somebody else, but I was there directly working with them. And now they've kind of really learned a lot, right? And it was a pretty cool experience because we also learned as well how to kind of take our system and educate some people who weren't even in crypto, right? So some of them came from schools like Johns Hopkins, Columbia University, and while they were smart, they didn't really have any past experience with crypto, or their experience with crypto was minimal. And taking them and kind of making them now more proficient in the crypto space was pretty good, right? So if you have any interest in interning with Token Metrics, send your resume, your CV to us, info@tokenmetrics.com, and we'll basically go through it. If it's a good fit, we'll be in touch. All right. Okay. Next question I don't quite understand, so probably gonna have to skip that. Okay, next one is just a comment. PayPal is looking to provide buy and sell crypto to its customers. I mean, the whole world is getting to crypto. Wow. Yeah, I mean, if PayPal can get into crypto, that is a huge win. That is a huge win for the entire space. Okay, to me, Ian, you are my hero in the crypto space. Because you walk the walk with a noble purpose, your moral compass is in the right direction. Well done. Thank you. Thank you, crypto family. Yeah, I mean, all of us are really trying to evangelize crypto and help change the world. So that definitely does kind of keep us towards the right path. Okay, then next comment is, I think the hack thing that happened to you is nothing but a test from God and not meant to hurt you, but rather to make you stronger. That does not kill, but make it stronger. Yeah. I mean, thank you for those words of encouragement. Definitely appreciate it. It's been good. I mean, actually, I haven't really even shared this before publicly, but I mean, I guess, I was kind of waiting for the right time, right? But I guess timing could never be better than now, I guess, right? But what I can say now, without getting too much into it, is that the hackers that hacked me, for those who don't know, back in 2018 in spring, I lost $2.5 million in crypto through a hack. What I can say is the hackers were caught, right? So first of all, I just want to say thank you to the FBI. Thank you to the Department of Justice in the US. Everything has been great. They've been very tedious, very meticulous. I mean, sometimes even keeping me out of the loop. But this year, the hackers were caught, right? And now they'll be facing trial. Because of the whole pandemic, the entire case and investigation has basically been postponed, right? The entire trial case has been postponed. But I can say that the hackers have been caught, right? So justice has been served, which is good. All right. Now, obviously, they have to go through a trial process, right? And once that is all done and said, then there'll be an official verdict. But what I can say is the FBI has done great work. They've been very helpful. Also to our crypto family, all the tips people have emailed in have been very helpful. And also the investigation team we had, right? From people in our network to our lawyers and the legal work to even some exchanges, right? Some exchanges were very helpful with freezing some assets, right? So now we're going towards the legal process. We can recover, or rather, I can recover part of my funds or all my funds, right? So definitely stay tuned, but it's definitely a positive step forward with everything that's happened, right? So thank you, Crypto family, for all the support. Okay, all right. Next. So what do you think about Dfinity? And what is your take on it versus Polkadot and Ethereum? Okay, well, I mean, Dfinity is not trading yet. What's trading currently are essentially IOUs or just, yeah, so it's not trading yet. What's available now are people just pretty much speculating on what it could happen when it launches, right? And the exchange is trading on is not the most credible exchange. I've barely heard of this exchange, Tokok. Okay, but I mean, yeah, probably not the best name. But outside of that, I mean, Polkadot, very, very bullish on that. Ethereum, very, very bullish on that. I think we do have a technology review, a code review on Dfinity available on Token Metrics. So definitely go to the site to check that out. But from I mean, at a high level, personally more bullish on Polkadot and Ethereum than Dfinity. And their valuation was very high when they launched. So definitely worth keeping an eye on that when it launches. We think when it launches, there could be a crash based on when they enter the market and also having a very high cap and valuation when they raised capital back in, I think, 2018. Now, from a pure tech perspective, they are trying to compete with Ethereum, and we think they could have a shot, but it would definitely be challenging, right? Going after the incumbent is not easy. Going after Polkadot is not easy. But I mean, hey, anything is possible. And they do have a huge war chest, and they do have a good team. So, I mean, if anybody could do it, Dfinity could be one of those projects. Bill, I mean, what's your take in terms of how it's trading, even though it's just IOUs?
You know, I wasn't able to call it up.
Okay. Nice.
You know, here's what I would say. When you talked about it, it sounded a little bit like EOS.
Yeah.
Right. Tons of backing, tons of money. And Polkadot hasn't even taken out its post-issuance high yet. Right. So these things are great, but yeah, they have to go up. Right. Right. And then, you know, again, with as with ICOs, right, just remember that, you know, when you go to buy the hot new IOU thing, there's somebody with a lot of knowledge selling it to you. Right.
Right. All right. So tell us what you think. Are you bullish on Dfinity? Do you think it can compete with Ethereum or with Polkadot? Tell us down in the comments below. All right. Let's keep it going. Okay, I think we kind of covered NFT. So gonna have to. Okay, so the quick question was, what do you think about NFTs? We've kind of already covered that. But they're going to say, I saw Meme at $6. Meme, M-E-M-E. That's a new, I guess, NFT token or DeFi token project. Didn't want to buy because it made no sense to me. Now I see it at over $600. Okay, wow. I am looking for the next NFT. Okay, all right. Let me take a look at that as well. Okay, so Meme. Okay, so wow, it's up 25% today. It's now at $800. Market cap rank 320. Market cap of 22 million. It's trading on Uniswap. Yeah, I mean, I've been hearing about this, but had no idea it was pumping like this. Okay, so it looks like it's up 54x. Okay, wow, interesting, interesting. Yeah, I'll have to look. So if we go to their site, what is this all about? Okay, Meme is an experiment in NFT farming. Do your own research. Okay, firm limited edition NFTs. Meme is an experimental protocol matching up some of the most exciting innovations in DeFi and crypto collectibles. Put your meme to work by farming exclusive NFT memes. Stake LP tokens for access to our batch of legendary cards. Okay, all right. So, Bill, let me know if that's also available to do TA on.
Okay. So with this, this is the Uniswap moon formula, right?
Mm-hmm.
The, the sort of the box. It's got the impulsive move. It's got the 5-wave structure. Except I think this particular 5-wave seems very classic in that it's super excessive, right? This was like from 2 to 3. That's where all the excitement's really supposed to come. But if you have extreme FOMO, right, you'll see people kind of getting in the game late, which is probably what happened here. And that's what the question is, right? The user's like, well, fortunes are made by buying low and selling too early. Now I feel like I missed out.
Mm-hmm.
No, you took your money, which is a good idea.
Yeah.
You took your money, because if this was the moon coin of, it used to be the moon coin of the day. Now it's like the moon coin of the week because everything else doesn't trade that well. Now, based on listening to that story, if that's what's mooning, we're in trouble. Yeah. I mean, I'm glad it's going up. I hope it's a quality project. There's people involved. It's their jobs. I get it. Value is being created. That's good. But we need a better story for the market than that.
Yeah. If a coin called meme coin is mooning, yeah, I mean, I guess it's crypto, right? I mean, that's crypto for you. All right, so tell us what you think. Are you bullish on meme coin? Do you think it's done? Or do you think there's a new meme coin that could be the next NFT play? Tell us what you think down in the comments below. Okay, all right. All right, I think we're about to wrap up the show soon. Let me see if there's any other questions that would be good to answer here. All right, I'm good at picking a coin, but I'm never putting money on them. And in that regards, I don't make money. What strategy would you use if you know how to pick a coin, but you're too early? Oh, wow. Okay, so basically you're finding the right coins, but you're not pulling the trigger, right? So I think it's kind of more of a confidence problem, or more of you're not, yeah, I think you're finding the right coin, but you're not pulling the trigger. Well, I would say pull the trigger, right? But manage your risk, right? Because I think maybe you aren't pulling the trigger because you see that you're finding them early, but you're seeing that there could be possible risk in them, right? So if you're managing the risk, so I'm assuming you're trading. So if you're trading, only put in what you're willing to lose, all right? So if you're trading, it's typically 1 to 2% of your portfolio. As Bill has kind of shared in past shows, only put in an amount that will help you sleep at night, right? So if you're going in with that attitude, if you're only putting in 1 to 2% of your portfolio, let's say 1%, why not pull the trigger, right? If it's something you've done research in and you believe in, pull the trigger, right? But if you're hesitant to pull the trigger, then maybe that means you should be doing more research, because hindsight is always 20/20, right? Because how many times have you looked at something that you were on the fence on, then when it pumps, you tell yourself, man, I knew it was going to pump. Right? So that's kind of my take on that. Bill?
Okay, 2 angles. First angle is, if you're great at picking stuff but not implementing the view, then don't even worry about the 1% or 2%. Just get something on your book. You'd be shocked how small your position can be to make you laser focus on timing and price movements. So, you know, it can be the smallest position possible, but it will help you with this potential pull the trigger problem. Now, there's another possibility with this coin, which I call the genius syndrome. Okay. Sometimes in legacy markets, I actually know people like this. They're so smart. They know what's going to be happening 6 months from now. The problem is the current environment is against them, right? So sometimes they'll have the view, they'll be right 6 months out, but they get hacked up or forced out in the next month before their event happens. So this person may be having that problem where he gets in and it's too early and he gets frustrated or it goes down. And that's why I'm recommending the smallest position possible, because what that allows you to do is the trigger pulling problem is over because you're in. Then once you're in, you'll laser focus. Then if it goes down or it starts moving, depending on what fits your personality, you will be able to move at that point, right?
Mhm.
So if you can't get involved, just get involved in a way that enhances your focus. And if you're a genius, the solution to that problem is actually just the opposite. Put the small position on and just sort of don't look at it every day. People look at stuff every day and then they talk themselves out of it. William Gann, famous trader whose work I use, he did not look at the market every day. He did not stare at the screen. He did not. So sometimes giving yourself a little breathing room after you've got your initial position can help you psychologically.
All right. Thank you, Bill. Great words. All right. Okay, so next question. Can Tokemetrics consider offering a discounted subscription for third world countries? So actually, we do have news coming out. Actually, for those who are on our email list, we prematurely put out an email talking about the Tokemetrics scholarship, but that was prematurely sent because we're still in the process of making sure it works from our back end. But we will have great news coming up soon on how anybody can get access to Tokemetrics by just being part of the community and by helping invite other people through our affiliate program. So stay tuned. We'll have more news on that coming up. Okay, we're almost done here. What do you think of the project NewsCypher? Okay, I think we've covered this before in the past. Let me see if I can pull it up here on my end as Bill also pulls it up. So NewsCypher, that's NUCYPHER. So their token symbol is NU. Okay, I don't think that one is trading yet, but from we do have the fundamental and technology review up on tokenmetrics.com. Go check that out. What we can say is that the technology is pretty good. It's pretty good at a high level, right? Go to the site for the full tech review. Let me see if we can find this on. I don't think it's trading anywhere yet, to my knowledge, unless we missed something.
I don't have it.
Yeah, so I mean, at a high level, the tech is good, right? Tech is good. Now, it's not the greatest technology, right? It's not. So for those who don't know, NewsCypher aims to provide encryption and cryptographic access controls without reliance on a central service provider. It leverages proxy re-encryption technology to allow rekeying encrypted data. So let me pull up their site here. We can kind of go through this at a high level. All right, so basically it's a privacy project, right? So for those who are really into privacy, worth looking into. Technology is pretty good, but wouldn't be the best out there, but definitely worth keeping an eye on. But If anybody out there has an interest in this project, tell us what you think. Are you bullish on it? Are you bearish on it? Kind of share your take down below. Because looking at this, let's go to the network real quick. Yeah, so they're going through the whole Alice and Bob encryption example. I'm trying to see if they have any info on who's backing them here without getting too technical. Yeah, so it's about managing secrets. Anyway, we'll keep it high level for now. Technology is pretty good, worth keeping an eye on when they launch. But tell us what you think down in the comments below. All right, we're almost done. We have 3 questions left here. Okay, this is a question we've received before in the past. So you haven't mentioned VeChain. It nearly doubled on July 4th. Why is this not a story worth talking about? Use case is also very interesting. Okay, let's have Bill pull up VeChain. And let me also pull up VeChain on Token Metrics to get an update on how this is doing from a price prediction standpoint. And we have the full review on VeChain on our site. So looking at this, our price prediction models think it's going to go flat. They have it kind of going sideways for the next month or so. Yeah, VeChain has pretty much been going sideways since July, then kind of slightly dropped, and then we have it going sideways again. Let's see what Bill has to say from a technical analysis perspective.
Okay, so I actually learned something about VeChain from one of our panel discussions, in that VeChain is a highly specialized niche play in what it does. Okay, so that helps me chart it. Now, what does that mean? Well, it's clear that when VeChain came down at the 50% retracement, which is right around this blue line, which I'm going to get rid of, right around where this arrow is, there were people interested in buying VeChain. Okay, so there's a bid down there. All right. I think the reason that VeChain doesn't get a lot of talk is because it's so specialized, it needs like a catalyst, right? Or it needs something that makes people go, oh, wow, right? Personally, I don't have an exact price target, right? So I think VeChain could probably go, if I'm reading this scale right, okay, I think VeChain could probably wind up at 5 cents, right? Mm-hmm. Right now it's like 1 cent, okay? Yeah. I don't see any reason why VeChain can't go up massively. The trick is, folks, it's going to be a patience game, because if it's a niche play, it's going to need that catalyst to be like, oh my God, VeChain, right? It doesn't have like the link. It doesn't have the VeChain Marines.
Yeah.
Right.
All right. So thank you for that, Bill. Actually, Crypto Mike says thank you with a super chat. We appreciate that. And Wave Map 1 says thank you for the TA on VeChain. All right. So definitely seems like we do have part of the VeChain Marine here in the audience. So we appreciate that. They're our crypto family. Tell us what you think. Anybody with any other price predictions, or are you bullish on VeChain? Are you bearish? Tell us what you think down in the comments below. All right, back to the AMA. Okay. Okay, we already answered the cross-chain question. All right. Okay, last question of the day. Do you think you're Ethereum biased and blind to other platforms? Very good question. Very good question. Honestly, I would say no, because Ethereum has the largest developer community. They have the most traction, and we're always out there reviewing new projects. And we even have our own development team that's out there looking at other projects from a code review perspective, and also for what we're trying to build in the blockchain space, because we're also a blockchain company. As you know, we have our indices, and we're actively looking at, if we were to put them on the blockchain, where could we build them, right? So we had our team look at Polkadot, Ethereum, and some other platforms. Now we're looking into layer 2 scaling on Ethereum. And the fact that we're always reviewing projects, we're always keeping an eye out on new and interesting blockchain projects that come about. And there are projects we're bullish on, like Blockstack, like Matic Network, like Polkadot, Cardano. So we've gone through and done tech reviews, but in terms of actual adoption, right now people are building on Ethereum. And until that changes, Ethereum is the play from a pure adoption perspective. Because yes, new projects could launch with good technology, but until developers actually adopt them and begin building on them, it's going to take a while. So I don't think we're too biased. We're honest, and we're also cautious of risk mitigation, because we know lots of people like to speculate in altcoins. And we're looking at projects that will have long-term staying power. And if right now it's Ethereum's race to lose, we don't want people to go and bet the farm on a different project that could possibly not be around in 6 months, right? So we want to make sure that we find projects with good technology and good adoption before we tell anybody to go FOMO into it, right? So that's kind of our perspective. We think right now is Ethereum's race to lose, especially with ETH 2.0 coming out soon. Definitely, I mean, it will be very tough to bet against Ethereum losing when ETH 2.0 launches. Bill, your perspective? Do you think we're too biased towards Ethereum?
Well, we sound like it. There's no denying that. I went to a conference I went to South by Southwest in 2019 when crypto was still cascading lower. And I went with an individual. He was a former Wall Street trader who saved a bank by doing the biggest trade in the history of Wall Street in an interest rate futures market. So he saved an entire bank from the crash by making this huge trade. And he got himself into crypto and made so much money. He got in really, really early. He could probably save a few countries himself. We went to see the number 2 guy at Ethereum. Okay. Mm-hmm. Joe, you may know the last name. I remember in my head as Joe.
Lubin. Yeah.
Yeah. And Joe asked everybody in the audience who owns Ether, and every single hand went up. And when he got done, this guy who has an infinite amount of credibility just looked at me and said, "We're in good hands." And that's all I needed to know. That's all I needed to know. Right.
All right. Yeah. All right. Thank you for that story, Bill. And tell us what you think. Do you think we're too biased when it comes to Ethereum? Do you think there are other projects out there we should look at we haven't looked at yet? Tell us what you think. Okay. Crypto Mike with a super chat again. Thank you, Crypto Family. Okay. All right. Well, that was the last question in the AMA. So in a rare occurrence, we've gone through all the questions, which rarely happens. So I'm not sure whether that means we've bottomed out in the crypto market. And
I was just going to say that could be an indication.
Right. But yeah, so with that being said, Bill, any last words for our crypto family?
Stay frosty out there, people. There's going to be an opportunity. We may have just seen it. Equities are actually not down. So pick your spots. We believe, and we think you should too. We appreciate you sticking with us, and we appreciate your business here at Token Metrics.
All right. Yeah. Well said, Bill. Well said. And everyone, go out there, follow Bill on Twitter @crypto_noble. Go there, check out his charts. He's doing Gantt charts by hand via Twitter. So check that out. And with that being said, thank you, crypto family. It's always a pleasure having you here. Always good. With that being said, go to tokenmetrics.com, subscribe, and we'll see you next time, Sunday, 6 p.m. Eastern Time. And as we like to say,
We just landed on the moon in the Lambo.
the moon is not the limit to the moon and beyond. Thank you, crypto family. We'll see you next week. Have a good
Thank
week.
you.
Bye.
Token Metrics is a cryptocurrency investment platform that helps users leverage machine learning to become better crypto investors. Our in-depth analysis helps eliminate the emotions of investing, find profitable investment opportunities, and filters out scams. Learn more at tokenmetrics.com. Disclaimer: Token Metrics Media LLC does not provide individually tailored investment advice and does not take a subscriber's or anyone's personal circumstance into consideration when discussing investments, nor is it registered as an investment advisor or broker-dealer in any jurisdiction. Information contained herein is not an offer or solicitation to buy, hold, or sell any security. The Token Metrics team has advised and invested in many blockchain companies. A complete list of their advisory roles and current holdings can be viewed here at tokenmetrics.com/disclosures.
Life-changing money to a point where you can buy your mom and dad a brand new house, right?
True. We just landed on the moon in the Lambo. It feel good, don't it? Alright. We just landed on the moon in the Lambo. Taking pictures with the zoom and the angle. We'll be coming back to you with the samples. Our predictions coming soon with a halo. We just landed on the moon in the Lambo. Taking pictures with the zoom and the angle. We'll be coming back to you with the samples. Our predictions coming soon with a halo. We just landed on the moon in the Lambo. Taking pictures with the zoom and the angle. We'll be coming back to you with the samples. Our predictions coming soon with a halo. The moon and the angels. Made man began, hustle to greatness. Elon's on the phone, he got our wallets, a spaceship, but diaries for free. That's if you want to attain it. Spreadsheet can't leak if it ain't coming with payments now. I give the blueprint to build, making the moon a plan. I went from being a lunatic to a lunar land. You day to day it, you make it no matter who the man. My chart is shooting in, tell me if it's cool to land. From my ICOs, my coins points mushroom like Marios. I might take it to Mars, my portfolio can bring my whole entourage like I'm Arigo. Because moon in the Lambo, ain't a hater who presume where we can't go. Lambos pulling up in twos like it's tango. Up in the clouds with my crew like I'm Lando. Yeah, just landed on the moon in the Lambo. Taking pictures with the zoom and the angle. We'll be coming back to you with the samples. Our predictions coming soon with a halo. The moon and the angels. Made man who die, read the game plan. They can't stand. We fly where they can't land. Lifestyle, so good I gotta write down. Trying out, don't make me pull my drive out. Made man who die, read the game plan. They can't stand. We flying where they can't land. Lifestyle, I never gotta lie about. Trying out, don't make me pull my drive out. Yeah, I wasn't always a celebrity. Had to do right till I left you a legacy. Blood, sweat, and tears on this trail like a Cherokee. Business had a mission like Apollo and so heavenly. Mercy, Alago, or Galata with the leather seats. How should I roam from my home through the 7 seas? And one day this wasn't built, I'm not Romulus. Grind to you sitting on a bill with no monikers. This for my mama, I turned up with no thermometers. I strain day after night like the Andromeda. I know what time it is, looking in the sky to lift my spirits. And my spirits, I don't whine, I just grind and get. Yeah, trusting the process is essential. Studying the chart should be the object of your mental. Make the most to get the laser focus like you Diplo. Keep a couple secrets in the tails of the crypto. Keep a couple secrets in the tails of the crypto. Make the most to get the laser focus like you Diplo. Yeah, trusting the process is essential. Studying my chart should be the object of your mental. The moon and the Lambo. Taking pictures with the zoom and the angle. We'll be coming back to you with the samples. Our predictions coming soon with where they can't land. Lifestyle, so good I gotta write down. Trying down, don't make me pull my drive out. Made man, who died, read the game plan. They can't stand, we flying where they can't land. Lifestyle, I never gotta lie about. Trying out, don't make me pull my drive out. Yeah, alright.